When humans interact face-to-face, our empathy works almost automatically. We possess an innate moral compass that functions reliably at a small, intimate scale. In Chinese culture, this is called liangxin, or the good heart. It is an everyday understanding taught at home and passed down through family elders, keeping the idea of moral knowing rooted in the kitchen rather than the university. Western philosophy has a similar concept. The Scottish thinker Adam Smith called it the impartial spectator, an internal judge that helps us observe our own behavior and check our selfish passions. Whether framed by a grandmother in Shanghai or a philosopher in Scotland, the human moral mirror functions best when we can actually look across a room and see the face of the person our actions affect. Yet, the historical record is full of systematic atrocities committed by some of the most advanced societies on Earth. These devastating zero-sum conflicts were rarely orchestrated by uneducated mobs. They were designed and executed by individuals with PhDs, sophisticated experts running grand, complex institutions. The individuals running these operations didn't suddenly lose their human empathy. Instead, they stepped into a structural vacuum where the vast distance between the decision-maker and the recipient neutralized their internal moral compass. Today, we are handing global operations to artificial intelligence, a system that removes the human face from the equation entirely while operating at planetary speed. If we automate this same distance, we risk turning the localized failures of history into a permanent global condition. This graph shows the distance equation. As physical and administrative distance increases, our capacity to feel consequences drops sharply. The first friction point is abstraction. Massive institutions strip away the human face, converting people into coordinates, statistics, and budget lines. Look at figures like Robert McNamara during the Vietnam War. Buried under administrative layers and isolated calculations, the internal moral mirror clouds over. The fog of war is often the result of this exact physical separation from human consequences. When an expert stares at an abstract map, a psychological defense mechanism fires. Self-interest automatically recolors distant harm as necessary defense or growth. The brain fills the window with a flattering story before guilt can even register. Massive bureaucracies do not typically choose to do evil. Their core architecture systematically erases the human triggers required for conscience to fire in the first place. The second friction point is diffusion of responsibility. When divided among many hands, no single node feels the outcome. Guilt evaporates. Add centralized power, and danger multiplies. Unchecked power removes external friction. Granting the top means to avoid costs. There is a cultural metaphor for this, the Chinese story of the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. He represents a godlike intelligence and pure capability, acting completely devoid of moral governance. To manage that capability, the Monkey King is given the golden hoop, an external band placed on his head. It provides the necessary discipline to check his impulses until he can slowly internalize that wisdom himself. Modern artificial intelligence is humanity's new Monkey King. We have built systems that process data and project power across borders in milliseconds, but they operate without the golden hoop of a scaled conscience. Currently, our macro-level governance relies on a fragile architecture, managing global risks through the threat of mutual destruction and outsourced terror. As we try to upgrade this governance for the age of artificial intelligence, we run straight into two major traps. The first is the push for a single, monolithic, universal AI. A single global model acts as a planetary dictator. It silently enforces one specific cultural standard, paving over local contexts and mistaking its own specific training data for the human default. The second trap is the exact opposite, a retreat into isolated sovereign AI silos, often referred to as distinct cultural spheres. These sovereign silos allow superpowers to use cultural relativism as a shield. They can build powerful models that certify their own decisions, allowing them to act globally without any external accountability. The sheer scale of modern global power cannot be safely governed by a singular planetary dictator, nor can it survive fragmented silos. This diagram illustrates the structural solution to the scaling problem, an architecture defined as floor universal, walls plural. we need a shared foundational baseline supporting multiple uniquely shaped pillars rising above it. This universal floor functions as an encoded pause, the mechanical capacity to reflect and check self-interest before a decision is finalized. This shared floor supports wisdom intelligence, or AIWI. It allows diverse cultural spheres to operate their own unique systems independently, while keeping them tethered to a shared mechanism of moral accountability. As AI becomes the engine for global infrastructure, we must engineer systems that successfully translate the intimate, face-to-face conscience of the kitchen table onto the global stage.